What's going on, beautiful people? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Today's video was requested from a lot of you wanting to know how I deep clean my machines and how the company does it. About 2 years ago, I've made a video on how to deep clean your machine using an aquarium pump. And I was educated on why I shouldn't use an aquarium pump because they're made for water only. For this process, we use citric acid and CLR so it can remove all the calcium buildup inside your plates. So if you use an aquarium pump, it's gonna decompose the gaskets inside of these pumps and it will become a black tar. And if that passes through your machine, it will stick to any metal surfaces. And they already had cases when they opened up machines for servicing, they found black tar substance inside the plates. And that was because people were using cheap aquarium pumps for the process, and that voids your warranty. That's why it's so crucial to use a certified ISO marine grade pump. And the one that I use is from Ion Faucet. I can leave you guys the link below. Now I'm gonna show you guys the right tools you would need for the process. Today we're gonna be deep cleaning the SD-501. So obviously you're gonna need an SD-501. Then grab your CPU-N cartridge that came with your machine. If you're gonna be doing this as a business, I suggest you get the older model CPU cartridge. The only difference between them is this is fully circled and this has the grooves. The same way as the filters. If you have an older model, you use the HG filters. If you have a newer model, you use an HGN. So it's the same thing, CPU-N, CPU. And then you would need the certified ISO approved marine grade pump. This is the one that I have. It comes with this quick connect tool. So you can hook it up to the white hose on the machine. And now you have a quick connect adapter. So it can click into the machine like so. That comes with the machine, and also it has a valve to shut it on and off. I always keep mine in the off position, just in case you turn on your pump, it's not gonna shoot water. Shuts it off, and then whenever you got everything hooked up, you can turn on the valve. It has an integrated bucket for you to pour the citric acid and water and CLR, whatever acid you're gonna be using. It also has this safety tray top. And this safety tray top has a cutoff in the corner so you can put your hoses through. Put that back. Then you would need your cleaning solution. I use citric acid, the one that comes from Enagic. This is pure citric acid, 100%. I was running out of these so quick, I figured out I can just buy food grade citric acid. I went and got a 5-pound bag, which is this right here. I can leave you guys the link below. And I was running through it so quick, I was just buying more of these. So for me to save time and having to buy more and wait for them to get to me, because I ordered them on Amazon, I went ahead and invested on a 50-pound bucket. And that lasts me a long time. And this right here, it's amazing, especially if you're out west in California, anywhere basically where they have hard mineral water, you can use CLR so it can remove the scale. If it created any rust, anything of that nature, this is gonna be able to remove it. Mainly we use it so it can remove the scales in the plates. And anywhere else, also your hose is gonna go through there and it's gonna remove all the scale. If you have hard water, you already know what I'm talking about. So this is your best friend. I use CLR for every deep clean that I do just because I like the way it works. Here in the area where we live, we have soft water. You don't really have to use CLR. If you only have citric acid, then you'll be okay. Then you would need a 1 cup so you can measure the citric acid. I also like to use these pipe cleaners so I can clean off the alkaline hose, a little bit of the acid hose. For testing tools, I like to use chlorine drops. I get these in Enagic, and this shows me how much life my filter still has. And I can also test the 2.5. And then pH drops so I can check for the levels of my alkalinity if it's good. Last but not least, I have an ORP meter to check one of the main properties in this water, which is the antioxidants. So this would check if a liquid has oxidation or antioxidants. I'm gonna be leaving the link below for everything that I use in my deep cleaning process. And now let's get to the deep cleaning. All right guys, first thing, we need to prepare the SD-501 for the deep cleaning. The number one rule I always tell people is to unplug their machine, just so you don't turn it on by mistake or it don't turn on during the process. So let's do that. Unplugged it, move that to the side. Second step, access the door where your filter is, remove your filter. Every time you remove the filters, sometimes the gaskets, they get stuck in the base. So make sure the gaskets are off the base, back into the filter, and put the filter away. This is the gasket I'm talking about. The big one goes in the middle. The small one would go here on the side. This is the small one that goes to the side. So now I can set this aside. Next, you would get your cartridge for the process. Just use the one that came with your machine. If you had to buy it, make sure you buy the correct one for your machine. In this case, mine is a newer model. I'm gonna use the CPU-N. You open it up, get one of the packs of the citric acid, put it all inside, and you can keep this little bag for future references. If you buy the other citric acid, you can fill it up and you have the right measurement to fill up your cup. Keep that right here. Close this back up. Insert it into the place where the filter goes, like so. Make sure the gaskets are on the cartridge itself. Then you lock it with the lock nut. Once it clicks down, like so, you push it off and then you turn it to the right where it says install. Now, your CPU-N cartridge is installed. Then you would need to unplug the white supply hose from your diverter. Check off the nut, place that aside, get your hose, and then get the quick connect that came with your pump. You put it inside like so, and then you click it into the pump. Step number one is ready. Next, you would get your acid hose, remove the plastic leaf on your hose. You gotta wiggle it sometime to get it off. Put that aside. And you get your acid hose. Then you will put it into the incorporated bucket in the pump from the slid I show you guys. Do that. Next, you get your alkaline hose and do the same as the acidic hose. Do that. You can also open it up. You can have more space. And make sure it's all the way down. The machine is ready to go. It's unplugged. It's ready for the process. Next, I'm gonna prepare the pump. I'm gonna be using a cup so I can fill it up with water. In this case, I'm using my pre-filter line water. You can use any water. You want to fill it up a little bit above the line. Get your cup so you can measure the citric acid. It's a full cup.
Come on, baby.
Full cup. You dump it inside. Next, get your CLR. For my process, I use half a cup. If you're out west or have hard mineral water, then you would use a full cup for this process. Now I have everything prepared, ready to go. So you would connect your pump to the wall. I already have mine connected. Close this safety tray and then turn on your pump. Since I have mine in the off position in the valve, you can now turn on the water. And then it starts to create the cycle. And what you can do, get the acid hose so you can stir up the citric acid that's in the bottom. I'll do it like this. That. And the cellular, it's kind of soapy. That's why you're gonna see it this way. And now for this process, I'm gonna leave the pump cycling for about 3 to 4 hours, and it's optional to leave it for longer. If you haven't cleaned your machine for a couple years, leave it for 5, 6 hours, it's not gonna hurt it. And I'll see you guys back once the process is done. All right guys, so it's been about 4 hours. The pump been cycling. This process was very helpful once I realized that with these pumps, you can actually reverse the cycle. So check it out. Turn off your pump, shut off the valve, open your tray, remove the quick connector from the supply hose, put that into the bucket. Then you would get your acid hose, and then you would put the quick connect into the acid hose. And now turn on your machine again. And what is it doing? It's reversing the cycle from the acid line all the way in, and now it comes out only from the alkaline hose. It's amazing. So I leave this reverse cycle for about 45 minutes. You're more than welcome to leave it for an hour, maybe 30 minutes. As long as you do it over 30 minutes, it's gonna remove, because it's actually going through different chambers, it's going backwards. So it's gonna clean your machine, your hoses, everything. So I'll see you guys back in about 45 minutes. All right guys, so it's been about 45 minutes since it's been reversing the cycle. What you wanna do now is shut off the valve, turn off your machine. You can open this tray, unplug the supply hose, pour it in there so you don't make a mess. Put your acid hose inside your sink. Then get your white line and put that back where it belongs. So you would hook it back up into the diverter. Put your nut. Once you plug up your supply hose back to the diverter, you would get your alkaline hose like this, kind of drip it, put it towards the sink. And now this step is important. You want to flush your machine for about 25 to 30 minutes if you use cellular, because it's more soapy. If you only use citric acid, you can leave it flushing for 15 to 20 minutes. So now I'm gonna be flushing my machine for about 30 minutes, and notice I haven't turned on my machine at all. So it's still off, it's still unplugged. So I'll see you guys in about 30 minutes. All right guys, so the machine has been flushing for about 30 minutes. Next step, turn off your water, and then take off your CPU end cartridge. Take off the lug nut. Remove it, and when you remove it, make sure the gaskets are on it. And then you would need to open this, dump out the water. It says to leave it in a dry place so it can dry out. What I do is I give it a shake like so. Make sure all the water has came out, and I'll just leave it like this in the corner so it can just dry out. A couple days will do the trick. Get your filter, get your rag, clean around the area where your filter goes in the base, all over that base. Then you get your filter, you dump it in there, get your lock mechanism, hold the filter down in the middle, make sure the lock goes down, then you turn it to the install side. Now you're ready to go. If you have a brand new filter, after the deep clean, whenever you turn on your machine, you want to hit the reset button. That way your machine starts to count the 1,500 gallons. That's every cycle for the filter. Then you want to put your door back on. Then you plug back your machine. Since we unplugged the machine for a while, this is the perfect time to put it back on the volume setting you like. I like mine on high, so you press Kangen for 5 seconds. It's always in low, that's the default setting. I'll put mine on high. Turn it back off.
Power on, Kangen Water 9.5.
And now it's ready to go. Turn it on. Then you can put it in beauty water for like a minute or 2 minutes. Then I'm gonna get some cups so we can test the pH and the ORP and the chlorine. I have here some cups. Get your ORP meter. The first waters I always test is the strong waters. So I'm gonna test the 2.5 for oxidation, then I'm gonna test the 11.5 for the antioxidant levels. Make sure you run it at a very low flow. That's how I get my 2.5 to be the strongest and 11.5 as well. And I bottle mine whenever I produce it so it doesn't go to waste, because it will make 11.5 and 2.5 out of the acidic hose. Put the 2.5 here, and I'll put 11.5 here. That's about fine. I'm gonna put it in the 9.5 so I can start cleaning. And you see that's 11.5 and that's the 2.5. Guys, this is amazing. Get your ORP meter, turn it on, and if you guys see, the air we breathe is oxidizing us. It's a positive number. We're gonna test 2.5. If you guys see, it skyrocketed to the 1,000 and it will go all the way to 1,140. That's the max I've seen it go up to. And that's why it's able to neutralize any living organism. It acts like peroxide. Then we're gonna test the 11.5 and we're gonna see the numbers. If you guys see, automatically it went negative 844. That is powerful, guys. That's why I recommend this clean, because it really maintains your machine and it makes it work the right way for years to come. This is what's gonna prolong the life of your machine. Now I'm gonna get 9.5, and I like my flow very low because it's running slowly and it's actually going through the process in a nice low flow. Check it out, guys. 9.5. And if you guys see, 9.5, it's negative 760. That's awesome, guys. That's amazing. So now, turn off this, put back the protecting cup on the probe. I get clean water so I can test the life of my filter. That's fine. This is clean water. And this right here, this is the chlorine drops. I'm gonna put 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'm gonna stir it up. If it shows a yellow, then that means my filter has been penetrated with the chlorine. If you guys could see, it's still clear as day. So my filter is still good. And here is the 9.5. We're gonna test the pH levels. The pH drops. 2, 3, 4, 5. So our 9.5, it's good. Then we're gonna test the 11.5. 5 drops as well. You can use how many drops you want. Just make sure you use the same in everyone. 11.5, that means we're good. And this right here is very important, especially for people that love to use the 2.5 to disinfect. This is why it acts like chlorine. This is the chlorine drops. I'm gonna put 5 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if water did have chlorine, automatically it's gonna turn yellow or orange. In this sense, this is orange, guys. This is why it has the power to do what it does. Amazing. So dump that out. I'm gonna dump this out. And I'm gonna dump this out. And this one. Last step is you can take off your alkaline hose. I get a rag, it's kind of slippery. Remove it like so. I get the pipe cleaner. I'll dump it into the CLR and citric acid. Then I'll go from each side you want. You can start from wherever. Go all the way and kind of twist it back. Same way. Push it in, twist it back. Then I'll clean it again. You can do the same thing on the other side and it will reach. So twist it back, do the same. Now your alkaline hose is nice and scrubbed. Then turn on the water.
Kangen Water 9.5.
And that's fine right there. And this leaf, if it's real dirty, that's why I have a brush. I use the same CLR citric acid mix and I kind of just brush it all over the tips. You can use the pipe cleaner to clean all the different tips of it. And now you can go back and put this one back in the acid hose. Put it back where it was. All right guys, so that's it for the deep clean. Your machine is good to go. Last step, I want to show you guys how to store your pump. Get your quick connect, take it off, rinse it off. Get your plate, rinse that off as well. Place that aside. What you would need to do, unplug the pump for safety. Make sure it's in the off position in the valve. Get your pump and dump out the water or the mix. Put it in front of the sink. You're going to fill it up with water to about the line. That's good. So what you want to do is plug your machine back up to the wall, turn on your pump, then turn on the flow inside. Let it cycle for about a couple seconds. Turn it back off, shut off your valve, unplug your pump, and dump out that water. You want to do that one more time. But first, turn on the water. That's good. Shut it off. Plug back your pump. turn on the pump, turn on the flow. As you can see, the water's clear, the pump already cleaned itself, and you can see the power of it. Look at that. That's a lot of pressure, guys. So that's why these machines turn out to be so clean, because it's pressurized inside. Now you can turn off your pump, turn off the valve like so, unplug your machine, and dump out this water. Get your rag and just kind of dry it out from all over the bag, the switch, make sure there's no water. Like that. Get your cable. Just twist it like that. And now your machine is good to go. Put back your tray. You can put this back on the quick connect, dump it inside, and now you can store your pump for the next cleaning. It's that simple, guys. All right, guys, so I hope you got a lot of value out of this video and enjoyed my step-by-step process. And for those entrepreneurs, you can make a side hustle by helping out your local community, especially the people you already got on the water, because I get a lot of people that would literally just bring me their machine once a year and have me do it because they don't want to deal with it. Hey, it's a little bit more money you can make. With that being said, give this video a thumbs up, leave your comments below. If you guys want me to make any type of video like this, feel free to let me know. And also share and subscribe, guys. Until next one, be healthy, be safe, and may God bless.